the screen. And then we have definition, store responses, self, which takes the argument self, a new response, and it adds the new response to the responses list. And then we have def show result, which will loop through all start responses and print each one in a nice format. And then we have a language survey.py, and then from survey import anonymous survey. So this creates a survey that asks what language did you first learn to speak. Then it will show the question to the user, collect answers one at a time, and it will stop collecting when the user enters queue. And at the end, it will print all the answers that were collected. So we have from survey import anonymous survey. It will import the anonymous survey class from a module named survey.py, which we created. And then we need this. We have question, what language did you first learn to speak? And it defines the survey question, and it creates an instance of anonymous survey with that question, and this object is stored in the variable language survey. So we have language survey is equals to anonymous survey, and it takes the argument question. And then we have language survey show question, print enter queue at any time to quit. This displays the question to the user, and it will print instructions that the user can type Q at any time to quit answering. And then while true, it starts an infinite loop, and it keeps asking for answers until the user types Q. Response is equals to input language. It prompts the user to type an answer, which is the language that we first learned. And then if response is equals to Q break. So if the user enters Q, the loop stops, it will break and exit the loop. And then language survey.store response. So if the users entered anything else, the response is stored using the survey method. And then it prints a thank you message, and it will display all the collected responses using the show results method of anonymous survey. So let's try running this. Okay, let's say python language. What language did you first learn to speak? I'll say C D. I'll say English. I'll say Q. And thank you to everyone who participated in the survey. And then survey result, it printed all the languages that I input in the questions. And then we have testing the anonymous survey class. Let's write a test that verifies one aspect of the way anonymous survey behaves. We'll write a test to verify that a single response to the survey question is stored properly. So we have test survey.py. So what this code will do, It is a unit test that will check if the anonymous survey class properly stores the survey response, and it will run the store response method and then verifies that the response actually appears in the responses list. So we have from survey import anonymous survey. This imports the anonymous survey class from the survey.py file, and the test needs this class in order to create a survey object and test it. And we have our definition test or single response. It defines a test function called test or single response. Python test functions are often named starting with test so that testing tools like pytest can find and run them. And then we have question: what language did you first learn to speak? As in the previous one, it defines the survey question, creates an anonymous survey object using that question, and we have language survey dot store responses in English. So it calls the store response method of the survey. This appends English to the response list. At this point, language survey dot responses is equals to English. So I set English in language survey responses. Thus, a set statement checks that English is indeed inside the responses list. If it is, the test passes silently. If it is not, Python raises a citation error indicating the test failed. So let's try running the test. So Python test survey .py. Okay, it's not running. I don't know what the problem is. Oh, so the test passed silently. Okay, so the test passed silently because there is English in the responses. I did type in English in my previous responses. So if English was not in the responses that I typed previously, it was gonna raise a citation error. Okay, that's why. Okay, and then we have the last one, which is the definition test store 3 responses. Let me comment these out. Okay, let's see this. Okay, so in the same test survey.py, we have a definition, a test function that will check if anonymous survey class can correctly store 3 different responses. It will add each response one by one, and it will verify that all of them were saved properly in the responses list. So we have we have definition that defines a test function called test store 3 responses, and the name starts with test, so tools like pytest can find and run it. And we have question, what language did you first learn to speak? It will define the survey question. It will create an instance of a survey with that question, and then here responses: English, Spanish, Mandarin. So this is a list of 3 responses that will be tested, and then we have a for loop for response and responses, language survey dot store response. It will take the argument response. This will loop through each response on the list and calls store response to add it to the language survey dot responses. And then we have for response in responses, and then this will loop each response in the list and calls the store response to add it to the language survey responses. The for response and responses will loop through the same list of expected responses, and we will use an asset to check that each response is actually present in language survey responses. If all are there, the test will pass. If even one is missing, Python raises an assertion error and the test will fail. So let's try running it again. Python test survey.py. Okay, I don't know why it is not. It is supposed to throw an assertion error because in my responses I don't have Spanish and Mandarin, I only have English. Check. Okay, I don't know why it's not doing the error, but yep, that's it from me. Thank you, Yasmin, for navigating for me. I am done. Yasmin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. That was really good, Martha.
Thank you so much.
Hello,
Oh, I